Should be up and running. Hello, hello. Greetings and salutations. We are back. Something a little bit different from the usual. At least everything. The internet seems to be holding on. This is good. So, we're still waiting for the update to drop for whatchamacallit, Fall Guys. Which I'm like, I need it because I want to know when I can buy a Godzilla suit. It's important. Highly important. But I figured I might as well show this stuff while we're looking, because it should be, the update should be coming along pretty shortly. But I wanted to show this game off called Sins of a Solar Empire Rebellion. This is an RTS game. Same idea as Warhammer 40k, but one of the big differences is that this is it's essentially, there's no campaign mode. You basically are playing skirmish type matches every single time. You just choose to, if you do it as a single player by yourself or in a LAN or online type of setting. And I have quite a bit to explain this in this game here, but one of the reasons I wanted to show this off was to see if you guys enjoy watching this, because I might play it in the future against higher difficulties and whatnot. Right, just the action. So I'm gonna put it on easy just so I can take this basically take this whole session to explain what this game is all about before we go and actually go into harder difficulties. So there's three main races. You have the humans, known as the TEC. You have the Advents, which are kind of like psychic human beings, and then the aliens, known as the Visari, right? And then each of them has two sub-factions, which have they have different focus on their research and whatnot. There's a lot that they share as far as the ships that they can build and whatnot, but there's different play styles between each of them. I'm gonna go with the core TEC here, right? Totally alien race. And there's not really there's not a whole lot of story in this game. There's enough to explain kind of the relationship between each of these races. Other than that, it's just you see who's the more dominant team, basically. There's victory options that you can choose what type it is, kind of like you can in Warhammer 40k, but you can set multiple things on and off, so there's multiple ways if you want to achieve victory. In this, we're going for basically just the classic, they gotta surrender, or they lose, or if they lose, absolutely everything they've got going on for them. So we'll boot into the game here. The other thing I'll mention is that I'm running a mod called the Enhanced 4X mod, where it was basically a community wanted to rebalance the game and enhance it even further beyond its normal capabilities. And so I'm playing with that, and it's actually a really good mod. It does a lot of rebalancing and whatnot. But this is our battlefield here. This is there's going to be planets that we need to go and discover and whatnot. Each of the planets is its own battlefield and base, as it were. So you can see I'm moving this little scout frigate around. I can move him a little bit outside of this ring, but he's pretty much confined to here, unless if I tell him to go explore another planet. Explaining some of the HUD stuff here, we've got, as far as what's important stuff, you've got these tabs up here which enable different windows. The only one we really want is this research tab. We'll get into that later. You've got all these numbers. These three here, you've got credits, metal, and crystal. Those are my resources. Kind of like how Warhammer 40k goes. Resources just comes in automatically depending on what I've got, the number of planets and the asteroid resources those will just immediately flood in, and you can see as I hover them, there's a total income at the bottom of the pop-up window, and that tells me how much I'm getting at. And as we get more planets and whatnot, it'll show me the breakdown that each one's got. And then we have these two numbers, the fleet supply, which is pretty much every ship I build requires fleet supply to use. And then capital ships, which are bigger, better ships, they require capital ship fleet as well as the normal fleet supply. Alright, let's go here. So I'm going to tell this guy, because he's just going to go off and build on a zone of builds, he's going to transform into a star base. These little frigates, very useful for scouting and whatnot. They have this explorer icon, which if I right click, enables them to go out and do that. There we go, there's that. They can, if you're talking about further going outside of this ring here, they can go a little bit past that, but not much out of there. These guys can do a little bit of damage, but it's pretty weak stuff. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to destroy this frigate factory. I have 2 of them, and I don't really actually build a lot of frigates when I'm playing this game, but it helps free up stuff and whatnot. So as you can see, my scouts are going to go off and explore. We'll go look at the rest of the map later. Planets generate golds, the credits. They generate that based on how many people you have on the planet and whatnot. You can develop a planet further by increasing like its civilian infrastructure, how much population and money it's going to develop. It's the emergency facilities, which is just how much health it has. There's these 2 important ones, logistics capacity and tactical capacity. So logistics and tactical buildings do basically help support and build up your empire. There's not a lot I can build right now off of it. The 2 important things are going to be these military and civic research stations. I'll build 1 of each to show off those going on there. Tactical buildings are pretty much primarily defense. They, like these, I can only build 1 because I need to get some research to build the others. But I can build these defense platforms, which kind of act as just stationary turrets as it is. The turrets aren't going to really hold up if it's a huge fleet that comes after me, but these turrets will be able to hopefully keep them occupied for a little bit. Back to the research and lab stations back up here. For everyone I build, it helps unlock stuff in the tree. The military labs unlock stuff for military and defense tabs, and then the civilian research unlocks stuff in civilian and diplomacy. Fleet logistics is its own research tree. I have to research first here before I can go up the higher there, and this allows me to have more ships. We'll get into that later on there. Like the research tree is massive, I'm not gonna lie. There's a lot to take in and whatnot. Between the different races, this is where most of the difference comes into play, especially within the same sub-factions, where you'll see some of this research stuff either doesn't exist or it gets moved around and whatnot. But now that my building is complete, you can see part of the icons are lit up, and this little bar here tells me how far I've got. Right? Just a slight panic. There's more of our map. They're doing good. They're doing just what we need to do there. So I actually am going to need more military labs. So each planet can only hold so many tactical and logistical slots, meaning the number of buildings I build, it can only hold so much. All the logistics supplies, all the buildings are 4, and it tells you as you hover them, it says uses 4 logistic slots. The tactical ones are different. The platforms cost 1 tactical slot, but you can see hangar defense costs 4 slots. So logistics a little bit easier, it's just 4 every single time. Tactical slots, you kind of just have to know how much they are. This map that I'm on, by the way, most of the maps are what we call symmetrical in some way or fashion. So my side of the map is going to look very similar to essentially the computer's side of the map. It's not terribly different. So you're gonna see me moving my mouse up and up to the edges. That's out of habit. Normally I play this game in full screen mode, and you can pan on the edges. If I place this mouse correctly, yeah. So you'll see the map moving around. But in windowed mode, it's a very small chance that you can actually land the correct sweet spot to pan. So I'm used to panning around to get where I need to see. So I'm having to use the keyboard to do this. It's a little bit of a habit-breaking moment there, but we'll get there eventually. So one of the first things we need to do. So there's frigates and cruisers, which you can only build frigates at the moment. You need a lot of research to unlock more frigates and even cruisers. We'll get into some of that shortly there. But there's capital ships. Capital ships are kind of like your hero commando units. They're very strong and have abilities that can help give you better luck, better favors. First one I'm going to build is this Akan battle cruiser. Right? It's one of the reasons why I wanted to do this on easy mode was to really explain what's going on. So I've got the first one I build is this capital ship because he's got this colonize ability, which allows me to go and claim worlds for myself. You need ships that can colonize worlds if you want to take over them and increase your territory / income. The second one I'm going to build is the Sova carrier. There's good stuff there. Let's just take a quick peek. Yep, they're making good progress. So a lot of times you're gonna see me sort of in this mode or zoomed all out to get a kind of big picture of what it is, but you can really zoom in on these structures, like I mean really close up in detail. I'm gonna actually zoom in. You can see there's my battle cruiser, the one that does the colonizing, and you can see there's my carrier, which is actually being built. I'm gonna actually pan so you can see. It's a little bit hard to see, but they actually get built. I'm sorry, I'm not trying to issue you commands, but you can see there's this line that's you can see it's getting built over time there. But it's an amazing amount of detail. Like when you get really crazy into the battles, you'll see them firing at stuff and whatnot. Reporting in. So there's my battle cruiser. I'm gonna tell him to gain the ability colonize. One of the reasons I get him right off the bat quickly is so that when he specifically colonizes a planet, that planet gains an extra extraction bonus. You know, they're gonna figure out how to work this out here. There's my carrier there. But yeah, basically I get a little bit extra income when he specifically colonizes it. There are regular like ships. There's a regular ship you can use to colonize a planet, but you don't get any bonuses off of that. The other thing that most of these capital ships have is I can build squadrons, which are basically support units in a way. They help. You can build fighters or bombers. I'm gonna build one of each for this guy here. But fighters are good at attacking. Either, like, as you can see there, it says strong versus bomber strike craft, long range frigates, and siege frigates, and then bombers is basically good at the bigger things and structures. Fighters will also, like, these will attack automatically on their own, but you can see there's it's really hard to get a fighter focused on, but there he is. That's what fighters look like. Whoa! What are you doing popping up telling me stuff? What are you doing? I might have forgotten to tell you to run in silent mode and don't give me pop-up notifications. But yeah, like I said, like you can get really crazy on some of this detail. But we'll zoom back out. Go back to what I'm familiar with the most. This is the view pretty much we'll have throughout pretty much of the game. We'll get used to seeing all these icons. So they've explored everything. That's good news there. On this left side here, you can see this is called an empire tree over here. This is more useful if I need to like select a unit, or useful for at a glance telling me, like, when if someone's invading one of my planets, it'll show all the enemy ships. Very useful when I need to see something and I need to worry about targeting a very specific like ship or frigate. So I'm gonna bind those guys up there. I'm gonna tell them to go after this planet. Most planets have this pirate force defending them. You can see it says on the last intel there's all those gray ships. Those are things I need to clear out because they can attack my stuff, so we have to go clear that. Okay, we're going up against the Vasari. Alright, good news there. Whoops, that was close there. The other thing, so there's this move command. This here, you can right click to change into like a grouped formation of moving. This is useful when you're jumping from planet to planet, so that way they bunch up and launch together rather than going one at a time. I prefer them to arrive in a group. It's not always a perfect system, especially when you're handling a very large force, but it does the trick. So they're going to go do their own thing. He's going to just colonize the planets because my battlecruiser senses that I shouldn't lose this planet. So it'll be fine there. You can see the fighters and bombers. They'll be the first ones to attack. So I get the carrier off the bat pretty quickly as my second one because he's got a nifty little ability. He deploys these little missile platforms, which act basically as another, like a frigate that he can deploy, and he'll shoot down at stuff in range. Just a nice little additional firepower from there. I should explain some of the stats we've got going on here. So, as they're cleaning up the mess over here, there's all this information we've got going on down here. The important things is that you've got hull, shields, and antimatter. Hull is just the health, and then shields is their first line of defense. They'll take damage to shields before they take damage to hull in normal battles. Antimatter is sort of their mana. That's their anytime they use an ability, it drains their antimatter, so that you have to it has to slowly recharge over time. So you can't just, and it's kind of interesting because you have a cooldown here, but you can see it cools down basically faster than it's gonna recharge all of the antimatter it's spent in one go. So you have to take that into account.
Ahead slow.
Basically, like, if you leave them as B, they'll figure out what to do with their antimatter and whatnot. And I can always tell them to stop using ability by right-clicking it. But it does well. Right? Finite amount of antimatter. Gotta let it recharge. The other thing is, every time ships jump from planet to planet, it drains 100 points of antimatter when they arrive. So that's it helps it balance out where if you're the attacking force that you can't immediately just unleash all of your abilities. Like, you kind of have to take into consideration that you won't have as much antimatter as much as your opponent will. So now that I've given it some time here, you can see this this dwarf planet that I recently captured. Its tax income rate is red 2.6, which means I'm losing money off of it. So I should be like above 17.5, but I'm at 14.9. So I'm going to develop the civilian infrastructure, which you can see is going to help increase its population, but also help get rid of that underdevelopment tax rate. I should only need one, and it'll rebalance itself. Oh, it's worse that it's got... Some planets have these little passive abilities. You can see on the bottom underneath those asteroids, it has frequent meteorites. So I get more income from my metal and crystal asteroids from that specific planet, but I also don't have as much people. And 20 people is a pretty big deal, especially for a planet that's not a big one there. Yeah, it gets me more resources and whatnot. Just makes it a little bit better. The other thing to keep in mind as well, there's this allegiance tab. You can see like my at the top here, it says Desert Planet Capital, allegiance 100%. Allegiance affects how much income you get from both your gold and the resource asteroids. As you branch out from further and further from your capital planets, meaning the number of jumps it takes to get back to it, it slowly decreases the maximum allegiance to that planet. So this one's 95%, so it takes a little bit more of a hit. You can see I lose 5% of my income because of it. There's ways to boost that up, but it's something to note that you need to make sure that you have to be aware of, that the further you get away from your capital planet, the less money you get from it. We're gonna tell him to develop again. Gonna have him build the extractors there so we get more income.
Where do you need me?
Get that. Get this. So this is unusual. Usually, it's weird. Usually it pops up there. Sensors detect an artifact is present on this planet. We'll get into that later on there. Oh, he's going a little bit forward. I shouldn't be worried about that though. We will, however, I need to build some more military labs specifically so I can get to the next part of my, well, okay. Usually that doesn't disappear, but I guess I'll just go that way. Alright, that should be 4. Yes. So in the research tab, that would be the incorrect one. The research tab, there's all this stuff. Structural subsystems does a lot of like my health stuff. Ballistics and rocketry helps increase my attack powers. And then experimental designs is where I can unlock a good number of my frigates, cruisers, and whatnot. But there's this big thing here, the Acleon prototype. This helps me build my Titan. And the Titan is the biggest ship. Like, you've got capital ships, which are pretty big, pretty powerful, and the Titan is just a monstrosity. He is a big boy. But we need to build this, the Titan Foundry, which is pretty expensive. It's basically like building a starbase, which you'll see later on. But one research isn't enough. I need to research all 4 of these in order to actually fully build the Titan. Just having one of these enables me to build, like start building the Titan, but it doesn't, it caps the construction cap at 25%. The nice part is the first 3 do give some extra bonuses for having at least the research there. So even if you don't plan on building the foundry immediately, getting at least the first three researches is good. And I have a ridiculous amount of money because I've been chilling around doing nothing. Just highly unusual. Usually, I'm usually like trying to go claim my place in the world, stop the bad stuff from happening, as it usually is. Let's go back out of that. There's also the defense tab, which helps me get to all the defense stuff. Just a lot of the tactical stuff, as well as this Ralaz prototype, which allows me to build my star bases. At the beginning, I get this star base for free. Titan, oh yeah. So we got, right, basic blessing, just the unexpected blessing of tutoring. It's true. Also, being on easy mode, I don't have to worry about being under attack anytime shortly here. Starbases are powerful beings by themselves. They can handle a fleet by themselves, just unupgraded at the very beginning. But you can upgrade them even further. There's a couple that you have to unlock through the defense tab, but the 3 basic ones that are the most important ones are, you can upgrade the weapon systems to make, which will give them more weapons to work with. The first upgrade grants beam weapons for more closer range combat, and then missiles is the final one, and it's a tab there, which gives it a long range option. And it can use all of those at the same time while attacking. Then you've got the structural integrity, which increases its max health, both shields and in hit points, as well as increase its health rate or its restore rate, and that goes up to 3, so it can become quite a powerful beast. I do need some of the money though. And then next is this Hangar Squad. You can upgrade up to 3 times to have 14 fighters and bombers total. So that's pretty good. And I get that for free just to start off with to help defend my little home base. I don't think he does. That's the Fasari. I could be wrong. I know he gets something worse, like the face tunneling, I think. What is... Okay, yeah, that's just a scout that's attacking. You'll see, like, sometimes if a planet has an enemy on it, you'll see, like, a glowing orange ring around it. I'm going to wait for the scout to actually jump. He should be arriving at the planet shortly. There you go. You'll see this orange ring. That tells you, as well as this little bar on the right, that tells me somebody is on... that there's an offensive force on my side of the planet. Scouts will always trigger that, no matter what. As you can see, there's another... Oh, that's actually terrible. That is actually not good news. That ship, in particular, is meant to destroy planets. So you can see he's firing a beam at my little asteroid, trying to make me lose control of it. How dare he? How dare he? Let's go. We do need a couple more logistics slots. I need one more civic research. So while they're off, I'm gonna go take care of that. Okay, I'm not worried about his force up there. Let's take a peek. Here, we have the civilian and diplomacy tree. You have industry, which helps increase like your resource gains, mostly from the metal and crystal extractors. The engineering tab, which focuses early on to help you colonize different types of planets, as well as increase your gold income rate. But there's this little upgrade once you get 2 civic research stations, the basic SIDAR. This allows me to see when an enemy force is jumping in towards my planets. Any planet I own, it'll give me a warning if it's a ship that's not a scout, basically. It'll be like, hey, there's a fleet incoming. A fleet can be one ship or multiple ships. It won't tell me if I should be worried that it's 1,000 ships heading toward my planets. But it's a nice early detection system to let me know that something is terribly wrong and I need to be aware of that. If I get to 5 research stations, I'll have the enhanced SIDAR, which allows me to see one more jump past it. So this planet, for instance, if the enemy force was here, I could see them coming along this line. If I have the enhanced one, I can see enemies jumping towards this planet, as well as coming towards another one of my planets. That's incredibly useful to have around. Would not say no to having more of those there. Alright, how are we doing on... If you hover over the research tab, by the way, you can see the progress of what you've got going on and whatnot. And now I've got all 4 of those bad boys. And now that I have the Foundry, I do have the Titans tab. I need to buy that upgrade because the Titan requires 150 supply units as well as 2 command stuff from the capital thing there. So, it's a big boy. You can say I have 158 left. It's a pretty big boy, but boy is it worth it. Costs 9,500 credits. It is the most expensive thing in the game. 12,000 metal and 750 crystal. And because we took so long in not spending anything, I still have enough, at least for the other things that I can buy. I have enough to spend another one there. You can see there's also this tab here. If you have extra resources of any kind, there's this little market share, as it were, where you can, the numbers on the red here, you can buy 100 metal based on whatever this price is. And this changes up, this price will go up and down depending on the demand for metal and crystal. If there's a lot of people buying metal, you'll see this number shoot up. As you can see, it's kind of fluctuating, just because people are spending probably a bit or whatnot. And then the right is the sell. You can sell 100 of your metal / crystal there. You are being rude. For an easy computer, you are not being kind to me. Let's just build some...
Another structure is in the way.
How's that possible? How's that...
Another
Am I...
structure is
Okay,
in the way.
that's why. I'm on the wrong planet.
Hostile forces have arrived.
There we go. So we're gonna build some Gauss defense. This will be enough to stop this one destructor who's trying to be mean. They're basically siegecraft, and they're only realistically good at taking out planets. If you've got these, like these two will cover the whole planet, so that he can't bombard safely. So he's no longer going to be a problem, and we're just going to go ahead and do the same on this planet. You can see that ring that's moving around with the green ring. And that shows you the area of where their attack is. These smaller planets, they're easier to cover, so it makes it a little bit easier to just make sure that they don't do anything. There we go. Yes, we want to see that. So as your capital ships and titans battle and destroy things, they gain experience points, and it tells you how much each ship is. Like this one has 180 experience points, but that levels them up. Leveling up increases their attack power, their hulls, shields, and antimatter stats, as well as gives you another ability point
How can I be of
to
service?
spend. You always have to upgrade at least 2 at a time. You can't ever repurchase the same one you just got, but that's okay because I do like having this one, the targeting uplink, which increases his attack range and accuracy. And then the other one I get for my carrier is basically stronger fighters and bombers. Makes them super useful. Super useful there.
Structure complete.
Alright, let's see. So we should have this planet shortly. Oh, we're gonna bomb it. Right, I'm not used to... Very few times are the asteroids like actually occupied by these minor factions. Like they don't ever like will go on the attack, but you do have to clear the local residents out of the way. That can be a problem. The other thing I should mention, because you'll see me occasionally looking at this, is there's these numbers up here. If I have nothing selected, we'll see these numbers here, and this tells you your ranking based on the number of players you have. Because it's a 1v1, the numbers are either going to be 1 or 2. So as you can see here, I'm overall 2, and I'm 2s across the board. Colonization, meaning I have the least number of planets. Research, I haven't done that much. And then culture as well, which is surprising, because the Vasari is not known for having culture. But here I'm actually doing really well on fleets and defenses. Not doing so good in the capital ship department. Again, a little bit weird. Usually that's reverse. Usually I'm doing poor in fleets, but I'm doing pretty well in capital ships. Hopefully the Titan will fix that number there. And then my economy is also pretty poor, but we haven't been doing much, realistically speaking here. That's just something to do. Alright, let's see. I do need... Yes. I've got all that. Once this planet's bombarded thoroughly, we can finally make some progress there. I do want this Terran planet, though. Terran planets don't always have the best when it comes to asteroids, but they typically have good... you can upgrade them to have a lot of people on. Meaning you can get a lot of credits rolling in. Alright, any second now. Okay, so he'll capture that Terran planet. And then I need to capture that ice planet, which, as you can see, tells me I need Arctic exploration to colonize that planet. Which is good because I've got just enough research stations to start getting that underway. Do you just want to, like, take your time capturing that? Is that a thing? Is that just something you want to do? The other thing I should mention is there's specializations. You can choose a planet to go through. Yes, there's my Titan. These two down here, you can either make them have a better population and better culture at the cost of less trade and slower ship rate build, or the reverse, where it's less population, less culture, but better trade for money and better ship, And then there's this one, which I don't particularly do, the smuggling specialization,
Research complete.
which corrupts your planet to being a smuggler operation, so you lose quite a bit of your income rate on that planet, but you gain this sort of global tax from everybody. So it's a trade, as it were. It's not particularly useful on like small galaxies like this, but bigger ones, it can really be a big boon there. So the Titans, let me tell you, Titans, they're also highly durable beasts. You can see every time I hover over like the different ships, you'll see it has different weapons for like it'll say in this one it says average laser damage, average flak damage, beam damage, and missile damage. Those are the different weapons it has, and sometimes those weapons can occupy against multiple targets. Those are its beams. Love the beam weapons. But this is my Titan here. And they are, like, a Titan can hold his own against a fleet. It's pretty impressive. And just like capital ships, they have upgrades, but a lot of them, they're more, I guess, supportive of themselves. Like, I can upgrade his health in general, the weapon damage and antimatter. I can also give him abilities. The first ones I do is I'll give him this disruption matrix, and I'll give him this health upgrade, making him quite a big boy. So now he also has his own support squadrons, which I'll give him one of each. But now he jumped like, that was a good, like, I think almost 1,000 health. It's a ridiculous amount. These are ice giant planets, huh? Yes. Beautiful. So I can't colonize these ones, but I can send in these colony frigates, which can colonize planets, can also capture these asteroids if I clear out this pirate force there. That's one of the reasons why I've got this Titan there. But yeah, we're slowly getting there. We're working our way up. Oh, now I'm even lower on defenses. For an easy computer. Well, that's pretty impressive. But don't worry. We are going to be fixing that shortly. So one of the things I'm going to do is I'm going to purchase this little thing for the for my supply units here. Purchasing these ones will give me more supply, but it gives me this upkeep, meaning it's going to soon start taxing on my overall income on everything, such as the price of having more friends. But we'll see that come into play shortly. But it's just it's a straight up tax. I think the first one is 9%. You can see it says fleet upkeep 0% at the moment. But once that research completes, we will be there. We go. So now you see fleet upkeep 9%. So it's taking 1.7 per second of my credits income. And then it's just slightly lower on those ones. And that, as I gain more income, it's going to steal more because it's always going to be 9% of my total income. Such is the price. You can save at any time. It's pretty useful. It's just, you got the save button here. You can see these are some of my stuff there. But you can save at any time. There's also autosaves that occur every 15 minutes. Which is actually pretty good. It's a nice way to get, it's a nice way that I can keep track of time, because you can easily, right, just think of it as tithing. You can easily get lost playing this game, but I need to move this. I don't need this mouse anymore. I needed it before, but not now. What was I gonna say? I don't remember. That happens. Yeah, I get lost track of time. Oh, right. So, if I see, you probably have seen it before, but it'll say autosave 1 and whatnot, saved and whatnot. If I see autosave 4, I know that an hour has passed. So it's a good way to be like, right, might need to think about saving and whatnot. But I can save at any point in time. I don't typically need to here. Just how to do it. I'm like, realistically, I'm not planning on finishing the game. I'm using this to explain sort of the nuances of the game before we actually go around. Alright, I'm gonna tell them to actually go this way where the enemy fleet was there. Right? Get up, walk around, stretch. Take a breather. It's not unusual to be, especially like in the single player setting, to be like, no, I need to stop and do stuff. What's that? Okay, little navigator. I'm alright with that. So now I've got my colony frigate that's going to come over here. He can capture these asteroids here. Because you can't colonize the planets, I can't just build them. I need somebody else to come over here and fetch him, and he's the only one that can do it. Which is unfortunate because he is extremely weak when it comes to battles. So we gotta babysit him a little bit. Make sure the way is clear for him and all that. This one I'm gonna upgrade twice just to make sure the tax isn't bad. Oh, he had a destroyer here? Why did he have one there? It's not like there usually is stuff there. Ice planets only have crystals. So capturing those is actually pretty good because usually you end up lower on crystals than... Oh gosh. I didn't even see that there was enemies there. I gotta go deal with him. He's a level 4 capital ship. Yeah, I'll send you here. I'll see what's up. I'll tell you what I do need to get started though. I want to show off the other thing. Whoops. I think I only need the one. I could be wrong. Yes, that should be 6 total. Yes, okay. So while they go and deal with the madness that is about to happen there, each race has a super weapon. This here is the Novalith prototype that I can build. Which, if you're wondering where my name comes from, that's a clue there. So we're gonna get that research done and whatnot. Super weapons are extremely expensive as well. Where'd he go? Did he jump back? Alright, let's go back. No, he went up there. That's fine. I'm okay with that plan. I'm okay with that. If he stays up there getting after that planet, then I can just have some fun anyway. Keep the Titan there till my little colony frigate is done with his work. I'm gonna tell him to move here after he captures that, known as a shift click there. Okay, yes, that means we need to build stuff again. So let's build some turrets just to keep them occupied. And just that. And then the other thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go back to this tab. When you purchase the first the first logistics capacity, it gives you an extra constructor eventually, and then each tactical capacity upgrade you get for the planet gives you another constructor to work with. So once it's done researching those, I'll have more than just the singular constructor who's busy also constructing those laboratories over there. So we'll get to work on that. What does he have? That's not... Yeah, the face tunneler there. I don't think he... Well, alright. Okay, no, he captured that. His planet was there. He does have a starbase there. Something to be worried about. Those little Orculus starbases. Right, it is a game of patience at times. That is truth. Especially when I'm going to go up against... If I have to go up against hard computers, that's where... that's where it gets a little bit tricky sometimes. And just... Hold on, little guy. If I lose that planet because I couldn't be bothered to do so. Alright.
Standing by.
Well, I can't go after a starbase, even if it's not super powered up. Which is unfortunate. I need my Titan for that, so I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell these guys to switcheroo. Put my capital ships on the defense and have my Titan come in for the kill. Yeah, it's not super upgraded, but you don't want to mess with them. Right? And good to know it's going well. And like I said, like in easy mode, it's not particularly... There's not a lot that's particularly exciting going on. But that was done on purpose to help explain this game and show off slowly what's going on and all that. Alright, he's going to construct the first turret. This is important work we're doing here. Meanwhile, my research... Oh, I'm still... I should have... Oh, he's still building. That's my second constructor. Yes, good boy. He's almost done constructing the military lab, and we're almost done. We gotta still wait for the research to happen. Okay, there we go. See, now that I've started building the turret, he stopped the attack because he's like, I can't deal with that. So what will probably happen is he'll move into range where he gets out of the range of this platform and then start attacking again. But then the other turrets will start constructing and all that. Yeah, okay, so he's just got that there. I'm alright with that. I should have also captured that planet. Not particularly worried about it. Not particularly worried. Okay, so it's just that. That's what's there. My missile batteries show up as frigates as well, so I get confused sometimes. What's going on over there? The nice part about capturing these guys is that I technically get them at a slightly higher rates than usual. Like, you can see, like, at my home planet with 100% allegiance, it's 80 and 7, or 0.80, 0.70 for each of my resources, while at the gas giant, you can see it's 1.07 and 0.93.
Phase jump on my mark.
Crush the rail, bring them to their knees. Good old Warhammer tactics right there. But basically capturing asteroids that aren't within your own territory, i.e. these ice giant planets that I can't colonize, gives me a bigger boost from the asteroids themselves once they're up and running there. Alright, I do need... No, that's not going to have enough. I'm going to need to upgrade your tactical slots. Because you can see the Novalith cannon here, it uses... It's 8,600 and 500. It makes it the second most expensive thing I ever have to build. But it uses 18 tactical slots. That's 18 of these platform guys. That makes as near no difference like 5 of those hangar defenses. So it's a pretty serious commitment. However, because I'm playing this particular TEC sub-faction, I also get this Novalith deregulation, which makes them cheaper to build by 25%, and decreases the number of slots they take down to 15. Makes them a little bit more manageable. On top of all that, there's a limit to the number of super weapons you can have in the game. Basically, it's for every 4 planets you have, you can build 1 super weapon. With the deregulation upgrade, I can build... in essence, 2 to every 4 planets I have. I have seen some games where it won't give me the first 2. Yeah, this guy's having fun. He's doing a good boy now. But you can see I'm battling against the Vasari, my little Titan ship. There's bombers and fighters. Fighters trying to kill my bombers. They're usually successful. But I mean, this guy, like... They haven't really been in the battle for very long, but it's two capital ships he's going up against, and he should win that fight. Barely, basically. Like, if nobody else shows up, like, yeah, there's like these little cruisers here, but they're not the main threats. Okay, that is a problem. He can do the repairing stuff. We'll live with that. We'll live with it. It'll be alright. But he's gonna do fine by himself for quite a while. But we did get the deregulation upgrade, which now makes these much cheaper. And there he is, the Novalith cannon itself. Takes a while to build. Well worth it. Well worth it. Usually I won't build these till I'm pretty confident in my... I need a couple of these. There we go. Can build a second one there. I usually need... Like, I usually won't build these until I'm pretty secure on my defense and whatnot. Like, I get multiple star bases up, typically before I go after the cannons. But I might as well build them and show them off. Because they look cool.
How can I be of
and they are my namesake. Like, Duke Novalith came because of this game specifically. because I played this. So I played this a lot years ago with my friends. We would have LAN parties and whatnot. It legitimately, like, this game started off where like I introduced it to my friends where years and years ago, I think this was about a year after I came back home from my mission, where one of my best friends wanted to buy me a gift for my birthday. So we went to Target knowing that it was going to be a computer game or some sort of video game. And I saw on display on the store there was Sins of a Solar Empire Trinity, and I had previously played the first Sins of a Solar Empire game. And then when I saw there was a Trinity, I was like, I'm like, that's it. That's the present you need to buy me. And he's like, really? I'm like, yes. So I introduced to him that night how the game plays and whatnot. And then he got into it, and it was one of those games where I could take the CD, install it on another computer, and you didn't need the CD to play the game. You just played it. And so he got into it, and then we showed another one of our best friends the game, and then he got into it, so it was the three of us. It got up to where there was 5 of us at one point in time going against 5 computers, which is, it's either the max or almost the max, one of those two options. Right, back in the good days. But in those days, as we were playing early on, I was well known for rushing to get towards the. I was known for going for my Novalith cannons pretty quickly, basically going on the defense and basically just trying to get it to where they are. Because in the old days, in order to purchase this Novalith upgrade initially, I had to go for this tree here, grab the Javelus prototype, go through all of these missile upgrades, and then I could get the Novalith upgrade, which was a tier 8. So I needed 8 research stations. With Rebellion and picking this particular faction, it makes the Novalith prototype its own category at tier 6, so I only need 6 research stations. And boy has that too growing in there. Galactic Empire 3 and Crying Suns. I got that too through the Epic the game store as well. They're both really good games. Galactic Empire 3 can be a little bit taxing on the PC if you don't have good enough specs. Fair warning there. I might have to retreat him just because, of course, he's got an ability that helps heal him and whatnot. But, I mean, he's holding his ground otherwise. If he levels up, that would actually be really helpful. But Galactic Empire is like this, but the Galactic Civilizations is turn-based, if I remember correctly off the top of my head, rather than being real-time strategy. But kind of the same idea. And then Crying Suns is actually really good. Expect to lose in that game, though, because it's a little complicated, but really fun tactical game. Nice. Improved nostrils. That's the way to go there. So I'm going to actually tell my... Whoops, I already had them. No, stop it. It cycles through different things, and I already had cycled the correct one there. It was a little awkward for him there. What I should do, actually, I'm going to buy this repair platform, actually. We'll get to that later on there. But I wanted to show off the Novalith cannon shots, because they are pretty impressive. So I can only target planets that I've seen as an enemy. That one I haven't yet, but now I have. And he actually recently acquired that because he has a tax income rate of -1.4. So I'm going to tell the cannon to fire at that. Now, these cannons do have to face their target, which takes some time. Like, it can take a while. So we're going to just park our fleet here. I'm going to actually tell them to not bother colonizing the planet. Hopefully they also don't start attacking it. The Novalith cannons deal a lot of damage to planets. Yeah, I was worried about that. It's alright. It's alright. You've done really good. Like, no doubt about it. I'm going to tell you to come back, say hello to the repair platform here. Right? Once they're ready, well worth it. Typically, the first time you have to fire a shot with the Novalith cannons, you have to wait a bit for them to actually turn around and whatnot, because you can see they just face the wrong way usually all the time. But after that, the next shots usually don't take as long to fire. So I'm having this one fire at the home planet here, which will really, that'll really teach him and whatnot. But I want to show off what else, the other things that's, because they do just more than hurt a planet, let me tell you. Let me tell you. Alright, this is good news. So the repair platforms, they have antimatter, but they repair automatically any nearby things in general that require some health. So it's a faster way to get his health back up and running. Left to their own devices, all ships will repair themselves back up to full health and shields. But it's much faster if you can just, like these repair platforms, just get him to do that. So you can see he's generating health much faster than he would be by himself. Right. There we go. So there's the shot. I don't get any warnings when I fire shots, but if you're the enemy force, you get a warning that a weapon's been activated. So we're just going to zoom in on this planet here. Oh, he's actually coming out to... How many does he have? He's got quite a bit. There we go. So we took care of that planet that he had there. So... right? Now that seems like what you were commenting on his comments. I'm just saying. Oh, he brought 3 capital ships. He is some serious business. I'll have to be serious later on with these guys. But because there's some strong bombardment radiation, for some reason I can't explain. Nobody can recolonize this planet for like a good, I don't know, it's like a minute, 2 minutes maybe. On top of that, if the planet had actually survived, which his home planet will, it reduces your max population, so you get less money at a cap. On top of that, you lose so much of that population. If you had set up like trade ports and whatnot to increase your income, that's pretty much gone. So it's one of the reasons I go for that, is because it deals so much damage. It deals, I think, 6,000 points of damage, give or take. So you can see, like, this capital planet would barely survive one blast from one of my Novalith cannons. They're pretty crazy. There are ways you can... Are you harassing? Like, I can't tell if he's gonna go attack... Okay, no, he's just gonna... No, he is. He's attacking my poor little colony frigate with the siege. Alright. It's a battle, then. Fight him to the death and don't give up. There's only 2. Okay, yes. This is going well. There we go. Yes. So the wait time, I believe, off the top of my head, is 6 minutes. To 60. Yes, something like that. Cooldown time of 360 seconds. Should be. It's a long time. It also costs 200 antimatter to activate, and they only have 300, but they'll recharge that antimatter pretty quickly. You can shorten down their cooldown time with this. It reduces it, I think it's 20%, so you can fire more faster. Yeah, they're losing that battle, by the way. Well worth it, though. Well worth it. But that is that. But I only get that upgrade if I actually, on like the bigger maps, where like the travel time is insane even for my Novalith shots. Like on like super huge galaxies where there's multiple systems, multiple stars and whatnot I have to travel to. I remember one game where it took about 9 minutes from the cannon firing to hitting a target in the opposite galaxy, and like you like zoomed all the way out, I would see like one shot nearing the galaxy, and I see a second shot from the same cannon already on its route over there. I'm like, holy crap. Like, it gets pretty crazy sometimes with the distances and whatnot. It just takes a lot there. But I think that covers a lot of the basics. There's artifacts. Oh yeah, you can explore. So artifacts are powerful passive bonuses. You can explore planets to where and see if they have any more either passive abilities or find those powerful artifacts. Takes 4 upgrades to fully explore planets. You might get really unlucky and discover absolutely nothing on a planet, but it's not highly like a bad thing if you can't find anything on a planet. I'd honestly would say the average is like one upgrade that you find on a planet for all 4 upgrades you purchase. It's not a very common thing to see. They do not. I should have gone to this planet because he followed me, which is awkward. How did you capture these ones? At what point did you do that? Oh, right, Vasari scouts. I forgot. That's a thing. So his little scout units, the Vasari, can do the same thing that my guy does, where they can capture these little minor things. Yeah, don't count on finding upgrades on planets. Like, it's not, as you can see, I already purchased 2. There should be an artifact here eventually at some point, but it's going well. What is? Hang on. I know I'm going to be ending soon. I don't want to take up too much more time. I lost one of my capital ships, I think. Yep, because I'm just letting them be. I lost one of my capital ships, losing to the easy computers. But to be fair, I'm also not doing anything of it. Like, usually. Oh man, he even built a starbase at that planet, so that's cute. Those fiends. But yeah, oh, we found something. There we go, found an old military outpost. Increases the health, tactical slots, and extra constructors. That's actually a pretty good one. Right. Getting definitely more. There we go, yes, found. And oh, we found an artifact on this planet too, the Hidden Academy. So these are all the artifacts you can find in the game. It's random as to which ones are on a planet. I would honestly say, like, on a map this size, there's a chance you'd find 3. You'd find like 3 of them on all of these planets, and that's like a good case scenario. These planets in particular, because of this map, should have one guaranteed. But otherwise, like, it's just random chance. Hidden Academy gives me bonus combat experience points, max trainable level bonus, and it gives me extra supply in general. That's actually really good. I like that one. That is pretty good. Yeah, it's fine. Don't worry about it. Found the ion field generator, which decreases bombing damage in general, and then reduces the cost on planetary infrastructure. Got it. So increasing the health of my planets is now cheaper than it would be otherwise. So that is good stuff there. Or is it the health? Or is it this? No. It's got to be emergency facilities. It's the only thing that makes sense. You do you, buddy. Yep, lose the second one. I don't even lose that many capital ships when I'm actually seriously playing this game. But it's good stuff there. Ironically, because I actually do really well against the Vasari most of the time. This is one of those things where I'm like, I'm not actually seriously playing this game. But I'm thinking Thursday of coming back and going and playing seriously against a hard computer now that I've explained a lot of the basics, a lot of the things. But I don't know if that's a good idea. But that was one of the reasons why I was testing this out is I want to know if if this has been actually fun so far. I don't know why he's retreating. There are only 2 turrets there. It's no biggie. But I wanted to do something while waiting for my Godzilla suit to appear in Fall Guys. Just seemed like a natural thing to do and all that. You're actually doing really well again, little buddy. And hopefully we don't lose against the next one. I will say, if I play Thursday, I'll have to stop for sure. Because as you can see, even after an hour of this, I haven't made much progress just by chilling against an easy computer. I can tell you, going against a hard type computer is going to require even more time. It's not uncommon for me to play on a map this size somewhere between 2 to 3 hours. So just expect that. Oh gosh, I've never seen an easy computer actually go this hard on the offense. That's impressive. I commend this guy. He's done well. If I had built, the idea that I do when I'll play this next time is I want to basically establish defensive points here and here as quickly as possible so that he doesn't do exactly what he's doing now. Right? Several weeks of streaming. But yep, that is the plan, is to come back, play this game properly so I don't have to explain everything I've done. The other thing, I never got to actually show off the capital ships, but there's 6 that you can get total. The battleship here, he's more of just an offense type in general. The battlecruiser, the other one, the Deneuve one, his most important thing is that he has a shield restore ability. So in the middle of a fight, he can restore the shields of one of my allies, whether it be frigates or capital ships. It's 250 points at level 1. It's very useful. The Dreadnought here, he's all about offense and basically bombing planets. Super good. And then this battlecruiser, the Korsev, he's got a little boarding party thing where he can send basically a team of Marines on an enemy frigate, kind of like these ones here, the assailants, the skirmishers. If that unit dies while it's being boarded, I gain control of that frigate, and it'll eat up supply, but it's very useful to weaken his forces. It basically comes back with half the health and whatnot, but typically I get the shield battlecruisers first to help supply give more shield strength to my other carriers, and then I typically get the other 3 to help balance out all at the same time. But I definitely prefer the battlecruiser over the other 2 if I have to only pick one out of those other 3 choices, just because he's very useful. Oh, Titan went up at the wrong time, but now he's got a healing ability, but he needs this antimatter. As you can see, it tells me the cooldown rate of how long it's going to take before he can use it. So I should lose the Titan before that happens. Good stuff there. But I will call it quits. I plan to be back Thursday with this game again, except we'll be playing far more serious than we were against this. You'll see me go for the same tactics of getting my the two capital ships and the Titan. Titan not as quick, because I'm going to try to get star bases on these 2 locations at the very least, and then we'll go super crazy. Right? Yep, and I can definitely, this game's definitely played a pretty good part on just my gaming life and my just gaming with my friends in general. Seemed a much better way of spending a Friday night instead of going to a bar and getting drunk, playing Sins of a Solar Empire for 5 to 6 hours. Can't do that anymore in my 30s. My body does not appreciate the lack of sleep as I did in my early 20s. That's okay. That's a good note to end on right there. But I will see you Thursday. We'll be back with a serious gaming mode on. It's gonna be fun times. Until then, hope you enjoy the rest of your day, and I will see you next time. And take care, everyone.